Bernina of Naperville, and I wanted to let you know that we are here with a really special guest. This is Philipp Ueltschi. Now, Philipp is, I jokingly call him like the Prince of Switzerland, but he is. He laughs at me. I've known Philipp since he got here to the States. How long ago was it?
5 years ago.
Okay, 5 years ago. So to give you a little bit of background, Philipp is the son of Hans-Peter Ueltschi, and Hans-Peter, or HP as he goes by in the industry, or the rock star of sewing machines, this is his son. So Philipp's, one day, he'll be taken over the, company, fantastic things. But right now, Philipp's main focus is on the Laurastar.
Exactly,
And
yes.
Crown.
Yeah.
And Crown is a company that, how would you say it,
Distributes entry-level sewing machines.
Okay, and so you might recognize some of these other entry-level sewing machines that he does is Eversewn.
Exactly, yeah.
But Eversewn isn't just sewing machines. They have really nice products and notions, which we carry here at Bernina of Naperville. Particularly, I really like the batting and some of the other little fabric clips and things like that. So great job, Philipp.
Thank you very much.
I could ask you like a gazillion things here.
Yeah, actually, we know each other more than 5 years. You met me probably when I was 15 the first time in Switzerland.
I did, actually. Philipp was all decked out in lederhosen, and I'm like, this poor kid, his parents make him dress up like this for the dealers.
Yeah, I want to put on a good show for the American dealers.
Yeah, there was a Swiss incentive trip, so, you do a great job as a Bernina dealer, and they send you to Switzerland, and they treat you really well, too.
Yes,
and there was a dinner at Mr. Ueltschi's house, and you get the coveted bottle of Ueltschi wine. And Philipp was there. I feel like I met you even before then, because I went on 2 incentive trips.
Oh, really? Okay.
In 2002 for the 200, the 200, and then in 2008.
Okay.
I can't remember which one. I feel like you were like a little old to be in lederhosen, honestly.
I don't know which one it was. There's...
I am going to try to unearth a picture.
Okay.
I have it on an old camera that has like a card in it that is not like, you can't put in any device.
Okay,
So from the time we tape until the time we air, I'm going to be ransacking my house for this incriminating footage of you.
Okay, perfect.
So, but your dad, I was really impressed by your parents. They have this natural pond that's like a swimming pool.
A swimming pond.
A swimming pond. I wouldn't put my big toe in there, but his dad apparently does laps in it.
He swims every morning for 5 to 10 minutes. Even though the water is like, I don't know, freezing cold, he goes in and swims, yes.
Oh, that's why he's so fit and tan. No, I love Philipp and his dad and his family. It's really nice to be a part in whatever way, we all, as dealers, we are all a little bit Ueltschi.
Part of the Bernina family, yes.
Exactly. So, Philipp, so now you haven't been back to Switzerland in a while.
I have not, no. I have been stuck here in the US for the last 6 months because of Corona, unfortunately. Usually my dad comes to visit for meetings, but I'm actually flying out to Switzerland tonight. So I get to see my family again. Yes, I'm very excited to do that.
I really hope you have a good flight because the weather is
right now it is
out there
pouring
right now.
and storming and
Okay, so what's the first thing you're going to do when you get home?
Probably ask my mom to cook me some good food.
What do you like? What does she cook that you like?
Oh, there's so many things. Just Swiss food, there's a lot of potatoes. She makes a wonderful salad.
Okay.
So I love her cooking or eat her stuff. So
I got another question for you. Do you still have your bees?
I do still have my bees. Yes, I've been a beekeeper for probably 10 years now, and that's one of my hobbies. Unfortunately now, since I'm here in the US, I can't really do much with the bees. So thankfully my mom takes care of them. Yes, and yes, I that's obviously something I will do when I'm there, looking after my bees and make sure that everything is right. But she does a really good job, and she had, I think, she was able to harvest 2 times honey already this year. So it was a good season, and that's one of my passions, beekeeping. Yeah.
Does your dad ever dabble in beekeeping?
No, so my family, I also have a sister.
Yes.
So my family is a little bit Different. My dad and my sister are very sporty, so that's their passion. And my mom and I are more like the nature garden type of people.
Okay.
So my mom and I share similar hobbies, and my dad and my sister are doing like sports, running, cycling, things like that. So no, my dad is not really into beekeeping. I also like to fish, so fishing is also one of my hobbies. But unfortunately, no, that's more something I do not with my mom, but like my dad is. Yeah, not really interested in that.
It's, you know what, we all have our things. And
exactly.
I was very opposite of both of my parents. They
they
felt that I just was plopped on their doorstep.
Oh, really?
They didn't know where I came from. So I can understand that.
Yeah.
But your sister is doing interesting things with BERNINA as well.
Exactly. So my sister actually works in Singapore or lives in Singapore, and she started to develop the Asian market.
Yes.
As we all know.
I'm going to stop you. And her name is?
Katharina.
Okay. Katharina.
Yes. She's a year older than I am, and she lives and works in Singapore, and her job or her passion is to build the Asian market. As we all know, China and other Asian countries are evolving, and therefore, wait a second. Sorry, my phone is ringing. My mom is calling.
Oh, oh well. Hello, Mrs. Ueltschi.
She's probably want to know all about my flight tonight. So, so my sister is in Singapore, and she wants to build the Asian market, and it's very interesting for her. She loves it there, and has great success. Obviously, it's very hard. You know, BERNINA is not a known brand there.
Yeah.
There's not that many people that sew or quilt. And but she does a great job. She has a few stores in Singapore, and she's very passionate about BERNINA too.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, and that it's like 2017 that she left because she was working at Mont Blanc.
Yeah, she before working for BERNINA, she was working for a company called Mont Blanc. It's a German luxury
fancy
brand.
pens.
Exactly.
Not as fancy as who is it? Sylvester Stallone. Have you seen his pen?
No.
All right, we might have to flash that up. He's got a pen.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not like a Mont Blanc pen.
No, it is. And so yes, she was working for that company a while, and then we said, hey, you know, you have to join the company too. Or she actually wanted to join the company too because it's important to learn. You know. All about the sewing industry. The reason why I, for example, came to the US is because it's our biggest market. So it was important for me, and I also wanted to work and live in a different country. But it's important to learn, you know, from your markets to see what are the customers like, what do they want, what do the dealers want, need, you know, learn. So for our future role, when we grow the ladder at BERNINA, you know, it's important that we, you know, have a feeling and an understanding of our market so we make the right decisions. So that's why I'm here and learning and experiencing the US market, and she's doing a fantastic job in Singapore.
Excellent. So Philip, now your life in BERNINA obviously did not start when you came to the US or when you graduated from university or whatever, but what is your background? What did you study in school?
I studied industrial engineering.
Okay.
So my passion is and was always like the more mechanical development engineering side of the sewing machines. And yes, as you said, I didn't just start working and living BERNINA when I came here.
Did you have little BERNINA toys that your parents gave you?
No,
like a little BERNINA baby rattle?
No, I actually had big BERNINA toys. So it's a funny story actually, because I was always interested in like taking stuff apart and things like that. My dad, for my birthday, from early age, like I remember like maybe 12, 13, brought me home old sewing or old BERNINAs that I then could take apart, you know, and I loved that. That was always so fun, you know, like to take these machines apart and play with the parts and try to obviously get them back together. Yes.
So that's awesome.
Yeah. So my whole life, both my sister and I were obviously part of the BERNINA family, and I think both my parents did a great job, you know, introducing us to BERNINA, making it fun, you know, to be part of this family business. You know, as you remember, you know, they took us to like these conventions, they took us to trips, you know. My dad, for example, when on the weekends when we went to BERNINA, you know, it was always fun to go with him because we were playing hide and seek in the factory, you know. So that was always a big adventure for us. So from early on, BERNINA was for us, you know, this great company. We loved it, you know, and of course, when I was a younger boy, you know, sewing machines was not something I was really like interested in. But the company as itself, that was very interesting and important for us. Yeah.
So when you go to shows, you are very personable.
Yeah.
You know, and I have to. I'm gonna tell you something that obviously, when you came to the States, Philip is just so genuine and sweet and funny. But what I really do have to say, the three with the models of BERNINA is passion, pride, and performance.
Yeah.
And obviously Philip has lived this. I think it just is something that's in your genes.
Yeah.
First of all.
Yeah.
But the and BERNINA, listen, it's an amazing product. I wouldn't be sitting here selling the product if I didn't fully believe in it.
Yeah.
But where I'm going with this is how passionate I feel because of your enthusiasm for everything that you've done since you've been here. So there's Eversewn, which is great, and then the irons. But I have to tell you, before Laurastar might have been a twinkle in Philip's eye, I have always wanted a Laurastar iron, and I think I got more excited about the Laurastar irons when we opened the store than I did about the BERNINAs, because I've been playing with those for like 30 years. Can you tell me a little bit about how that happened?
So yes, as you mentioned, when I first came to the US, I wanted to learn, experience, what it takes to sell products here, and I didn't really want to work for BERNINA at that time, because BERNINA is this prestigious brand, it's lots of heritage, and for a young person like me, it wasn't really like the right place to start, because you couldn't experiment a lot. So that's why I first started Eversewn, a sewing machine brand that is young, fresh, a little less expensive, and modern. And it was a great opportunity for me to experiment and see how things work here, and what can I do with marketing, sales, to grow sales overall, but also to be in contact with customers, to reach new customers especially, and that was great. I did this for 4 years, and then I said, okay, I want to move on. And Laurastar is a Swiss company, very similar to BERNINA. It's a family-owned company. Higher end products, a little bit like BERNINA, quality products that last for a long time. So I obviously knew about the brand growing up in Switzerland. And so I think in Switzerland, probably everyone has a Laurastar at home. Mm-hmm. And I also like to iron my own clothes, so I don't bring them to the dry cleaner. And so I ever since I lived here, I ironed my own clothes. So Laurastar approached us and said, hey, would you be interested to take over the distribution in the US? So obviously we analyzed the company and we said, okay, let's look into it, and can we make this a successful story? And so that's how we decided that we take over the distribution for Laurastar in the US. And yes, it's a great product. When I first got a sample here in the US, they sent me one, and I started to iron my clothes. It was like, oh my God, this is like an amazing, life-changing experience, And it's something similar to BERNINA, I always say, because if you ask a non-sewer, that you tell them that you have a $5,000 or $10,000 sewing machine at home, they think you're crazy.
Yes.
They don't understand what the benefits and the qualities are that you get with BERNINA. And it's similar to Laurastar. Most people probably have an iron at home that costs $100.
Mm-hmm.
They would never think of an iron costing $500 or even $2,000. So you have to experience the product. You have to iron with it, press your clothes, press your seams to understand the benefits of Laurastar. And yeah, that's how we started. And again, it's very interesting for me to again learning and experiencing what it takes to sell a higher end product like this, and hopefully will help me to gain a lot of experience again to eventually also then make BERNINA even more successful in the future.
And there's been a lot of changes already with Laurastar. Now, I do want to give you a little bit of a background here on Laurastar. If you're not familiar, if you're watching this, I know you've seen in the videos that we do, I use several actually, but the Laurastar irons, there are several versions. There's the Lift, and the Lift has 4 versions. There's the Lift Plus, and the Lift Extra. And each one, they're wonderful, but each one has a little something extra,
different, yeah.
especially the extra one. And then there are 3 board models, and the board models they have a fan in the board that will either suck the steam through the board or blows the steam up.
Exactly.
You want it to blow up to cool off polyester to get those bolt creases out and things like that. But and then as you go up the line, just like a Bernina, you get a little bit ease of use, more programmability,
more features,
and so we are going to do a demo in just a moment with the Smart Eye, but then we're also going to talk a little bit about the differences of the Smart Eye and the Smart U, which is the ultimate in the ironing experience.
Yeah.
And then also a little bit on why you might even want to lift versus a board model. So Philip, when we get to the board, I want you to also tell me a little bit about some research that you did recently.
Yeah, I will be more than happy to do that. Yes.
All right.
But I think it's what I really like about Laurastar, and it's again very similar to Bernina, is the quality of the product. A lot of people, when I talk here in the US with customers about irons, they say, yeah, irons break after a year or two. And that's exactly the opposite with Laurastar. Laurastar's philosophy is to build a quality product that'll last you a long time, but is also able to be repaired. If you buy a Laurastar and after, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, you have an issue with the product, you can bring it back to you as a dealer, and you will be able to repair it.
Yes.
It's not a throwaway product. So yes, that's what is good about the product also.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, are you ready?
I am, yes.
Ready to press my laundry? All right, let's do it. Come on. All right, well, here we are. Here is the Smart Eye. Now, Philip, why do they call them smart?
Because they're actually smart irons.
Okay.
And smart because you can connect your phone with the iron. I know it sounds a little strange, but you can download an app, and the app will tell you, for example, when to change the filter, how many hours you've been ironing. There's actually also a sensor here in the iron that detects your movements.
Yeah, so you heard, I don't know if you can catch this on the audio, but when he picked it up, it started to get ready for something.
Exactly. And if I, for example, iron like this.
That's how I iron.
Yeah, it's not the right way.
Oh,
so
shoot.
On your phone, you have in here's a sensor, as I mentioned, that will notice your movements going around like this, and it will tell you have to slow down, you have to go more straight. And then also on the app, there is videos, how to iron a shirt, how to iron, different things. So yeah,
okay.
the Smart Iron is called smart because you can connect your phone to the iron, but you don't have to. It's not something that you have.
Right.
It's just it's an add-on.
Okay.
But yeah.
And then the Smart Eye is one notch down. So this is like the 790 to the 880 plus.
Yes,
right?
Or I always refer to it in the 7 series for those of you that know Bernina. And this is a 770 and the other one is a 790.
Okay, all right.
I always compare it like
so
this.
The Smart U is black in color, so that's how we can differentiate them. And it's got a black board
cover
here, but there's a couple differences. So there's that pulsy thing.
So the most important difference is probably the sole plate.
Okay.
As you can see, there's just holes here in the sole plate versus the Smart U has our 3D sole plate, meaning that there is a little notch going around here that presses even deeper into the fabric and gets wrinkles out even better. So why I'm comparing these to Bernina sewing machines is because the 790, the Smart U, our top of the line product, is used for embroidery, quilting, garment sewing.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to the Smart U. So if you use just iron for pressing your clothes, pressing your seams, quilting, get the Smart U. The Smart Eye here is great if you just use it for quilting, pressing your seams, and so forth. You don't need all the features that are in the Smart U.
Also with the Smart U, what I have noticed myself, and also the same sole plate is on the Lift Extra and the Lift Plus. It's that little ridge that's on there sometimes can be a little fussy when you've got the tiny little 1/4 inch seams.
Yeah.
And believe me, there are workarounds. I love the Smart U. That's my dream iron. But nonetheless, just they make multiple different versions of these irons for a reason.
Exactly. Same with Bernina, that you have different machines for different purposes, depending on what you want to sew or embroider and so forth. So yeah, the uniqueness of Laurastar probably the most interesting thing is our steam. So as you can see, it's a very powerful steam, but it's also a dry steam. So normally, if you would do this with a regular iron, you would burn yourself. So as you can see, I can give myself a little facial even, you know, with this
He already
iron.
looks exfoliated. So Philip, so with that in mind, one of the things that I love the most from the videos is sometimes ironing these slippery materials like this, it's hard to like really get in something that's got like a little gathery sleeve like this, because how do you actually put weight on that and not get creases? So show me that little whooshie trick.
So as I said, one of the key features of Laurastar is the powerfulness of our steam. You know, there's a lot of steam coming out there, and it's a dry steam. So what you can do is actually you can iron without putting the iron on the fabric. So I just go into the sleeve here, and you can see how the steam is coming out, and therefore the wrinkles are also coming out. So you don't even have to touch the fabric to press or iron your clothes.
And that is really important for folks like me that wear all kinds of slippery stuff that is hard to iron.
So what you mentioned before is also that we have with Laurastar an active table here that either blows air out or sucks down the steam. So again, when you have a fabric, and I'm not sure what material this is.
This is rayon.
So rayon. So if you have a silk or a more delicate fabric that you, again, don't want to touch with the iron, as you can see, if I press this button here, watch what happens now. You can see that we have now an air cushion underneath here now. So this helps me to get the wrinkles out much easier. So now I just hover over the fabric like this, and the wrinkles are out. And if you touch the fabric, it's dry.
Yes.
So with Laurastar, we have a dry steam that doesn't get your clothes or fabric wet. And it's great to show this also. I see you have some batting here.
Yes, I do.
As a quilter, you probably know this problem. When you have batting, when you get it out of the package, it's a long piece here. Right. When you get it out of the package, you often have like these creases, wrinkles, and so forth, or it's all compressed. So it's a pain to get these wrinkles out because you cannot go with a regular iron on this on this fabric. So again, what we have an air cushion underneath here, and all I do again is just like hover over. As you can see, it's perfectly fluffy, dry, and ready to go get quilted.
And I want to mention this as well, and it might lead into some other things I want to talk to you about. But I have like really bad allergies, and once upon a time, when I would get batting out of a package, I couldn't just put it into a quilt and use it. Because I'm the one doing the quilting with it, I had to wash my batting to get the microbes, the dust mites, those things out of it.
Yeah.
We don't have to do that if we use the Laurastar.
We don't have to do this, yes, because with Laurastar, because we have such a unique steam, we actually have a hygienic steam. And the hygienic steam means that we have a certified and tested steam that kills bacteria, dust mites, and fungi. So this is really something that for people like you maybe that have allergies or have sensitive skin, that maybe don't want to bring their clothes to the dry cleaner because, as we all know, they use a lot of chemicals. So this is a great way to disinfect, purify your clothes, textiles at home. Or even, for example, if you have like a quilt, an heirloom quilt or something that you don't want to wash, you can use your Laurastar, to get all the germs out of your quilt.
Or you have packaged a bunch of your quilts in a box and now it's time to use them.
Yeah.
And you have
throw
your
it,
little quilts.
exactly. You just iron it. And this is a great example. For example, I showed you before how we blow up the air onto the iron. So now, again, if I press this button, now it actually sucks down the air and it sucks the fabric onto the ironing board. So, for example, if you have a quilt and you want to, iron the edge of the quilt, normally we pull this down. Because we have the sucking function on now, it will not happen. So we can now steam and iron this quilt even here on the edge, without it sliding it down. So that's a huge advantage.
Sometimes when you're doing your bindings, and I do all of mine by machine, sometimes they can be a little wavy, but you can actually use this system to block the quilt.
Exactly.
And I am also a knitter, or I used to be, and I can't wait to make something that I have to block on here that will steam it and get it right into shape.
Exactly. The vacuum also helps you if you are pressing your seams and you want to like hold this down. Normally, if you would iron and steam, you would burn your hand.
Yes,
You know.
yeah.
So now with Laurastar, because it sucks it down, you will not burn your hand. The steam gets sucked through the ironing board, so you can really like go close without burning yourself. So that's a huge advantage of the suction of the board too.
So, I also struggle. I mean, now my machines are doing a pretty good job for me, but every once in a while there's that embroidery design that just puckers a little bit.
Yeah.
What about this? Does that help with that?
Of course, yes.
Okay.
So with Laurastar, we have a very hot surface here. So if you want to iron or press embroidery that maybe is heat sensitive, what we have is a protective sole plate. That comes with every Laurastar included. So what you do is you just pop that on like this, and now you can go over any surface that is maybe a little more delicate, but still you have the steam coming out. So you can easily, you know, get all these wrinkles out of fabric that is a little more sensitive, or you don't want to like get shiny, for example.
Yeah.
So you don't have to like adjust any temperature here. All you do is you put that protective sole plate on, and when you're done, just take it off, put it away, and you're back to a very hot surface here.
Excellent. So you talked about microbes and fungi and all of that, but recently you had two labs do a study
Exactly.
about COVID-19.
Exactly. So because we knew that we have such a unique steam, and we already have the Hygienic Steam certification, we said, okay, let's try and find out if we can also kill the coronavirus in textiles. So as you can imagine, all the labs are super busy right now. So it took us some time to find a lab that has actually time to test our products. But yes, just last week we got the results back from a lab here in the US, in Texas actually, that did the testing with our irons, and it came back that 99.999% of the coronavirus gets killed in textiles. So it's a great opportunity now for someone to disinfect, purify, for example, a mask. You know, you just have to go over, steam the surfaces on all sides, and that kills the coronavirus. Not obviously only in masks, but also, you know, in fabric, in clothing, whatever you have that you want to disinfect, purify, and kill the coronavirus, the Laurastar can do that for you.
Excellent. So if somebody is, I kind of think of the lifts, and you saw we were sitting next to one when we were sitting down for our interview. Are those going to have the same quality as our Smart Eye?
Yes. So it is exactly the same steam. It is exactly the same quality. All the products are the same. It's just what you have with the Smart or the systems in general. You have the whole system where you have the table and the tank down here.
Okay. Finally, one thing about this, so, you know, I have like many masks that I wear and everything, but I noticed a difference immediately when I steamed my mask, because, you know, it's got that like essence of Gayle on it. And then when it was steamed, it was like fresh again, like I'd washed it. And that got me thinking. So I did this at home. I had a lift at home, and my closet kind of it's not fresh, even though my clothes are clean in there.
Yeah.
And so I take out the suit that I'm wearing today, for instance, and
to steam it. Yeah. So
and it was just like it came from the dry cleaner, only no chemicals.
Exactly. So Laurastar is, I would say, also the world's best steamer. So a lot of people actually use the lift, you know, versus the whole system. We have actually a little cart that goes where you can put the lift in, and you can carry it around your house, and you can go steam whatever, your clothes, your curtains, your whatever it is.
How about upholstery, like
yes,
couch and
of
stuff?
Of course. Okay. You can freshen up, and again, we actually have a lot of customers now that buy this iron. Hotels, for example.
Yes.
Upholstery you cannot wash, and maybe you don't want to like use chemical or harsh chemicals on these upholsteries to kill the coronavirus. So they use this and go over like this to purify and kill the coronavirus.
Is there an amount of time you need to do that? 30 seconds?
No, it's about 5 seconds, I would say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we tested it for 5 seconds, and that does the job. Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That really is amazing.
And you don't even have to put the hot iron on the surface. Yes. It's just the steam alone kills the coronavirus.
Then for sure, I can get essence of Camilla off my couch, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, as you said, a lot of people, and I experience it myself, wearing a mask, and maybe I don't have the coronavirus in the mask, but because I'm breathing in and out all the time, it gets humid.
It's like,
it starts to smell.
I had like tuna salad.
Exactly. So you can actually use your Laurastar and kill or get all the odors out of the mask too. Same is with with shirts or other things that you maybe that are not dirty, that maybe smell a little bit, you go over with your Laurastar and you freshen them up.
I love that idea. And I can also imagine baby things. You just have to, there's great information that you can read at laurastarus.com.
Exactly.
If you want more information, you can also contact me, Gayle, at BERNINAofNaperville.com. Visit our website. And there's lots of stuff, and we really love these products here. And the price range on them, we have coupons. We have a little coupon that you can download after this video.
There's also financing.
Laurastar, and there's financing. So if you're interested, please give us a call, 331-472-4231. And we'd love to bring one of these life-changing irons into your life. And the price range is about $500 to, let's be honest, $2,500, but well worth it, and there's something for everybody. So Philip, let's meet back at our little station here, and thank you so much for the demo.
One thing I actually wanted to mention, our Laurastar irons have a dual shut-off mode. So when we walk over there now and we leave the iron on, it will turn off after 10 minutes.
Okay.
But if you don't want it to turn off, you can also press this button down here, and then it will stay on forever, or until you turn it
until
off.
The house burns down.
No,
or
that won't happen, but yes. So I think it's important that for a quilter, especially when you go back and forth to a sewing machine, that the iron stays on, so you're able to do that with Laurastar.
Yeah. Oh, another thing too before we go, I was rushing him away, but we talked about servicing and the longevity of the ironing system, and something that I've learned that you do have filters in these irons, and you don't need to necessarily use you don't use distilled water. You can use spring water, or if you have fairly decent water at home, you can use tap water. The irons actually like the minerals in your spring water and the tap water, but you do have to change the filter. I think for us, we should be changing them almost every month because we use them a lot here. But there's filters. There's also, you flush your system to maintain it, and that will give you a happy iron.
Exactly.
But once again, the nice bit about it is we don't have to invest in all other kinds of stuff to keep it running well.
Yeah. And you get a 2-year warranty if you buy it from Gayle. So yes.
Exactly. And you get Chris and I, who Chris is never seen in these videos. He's always like behind the scenes, but you might get him or myself coming out to set it up. That is like a treat right there. Philip will not come.
I will be in Switzerland.
It's going to be fishing, beekeeping, and eating his mother's delicious homemade Swiss food.
I will, yes.
So, all right. Philip, thank you so much for coming to visit us. I hope that we get to see you again. I hope
Hopefully,
that somehow the floodgates
back.
will open from Switzerland. But I wanted to give you a little thank you gift.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, I know you don't sew, but hopefully this will be like a little tchotchke to remember Bernina of Naperville by, and personally remember me. And, we have social media, we have phones and things like that to keep in touch, but thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Let me see what it is. Oh, wow. That's super cute. Wow, look at that.
So this was made on the Bernina 880 Plus with the stump work feature.
Okay.
And then this was sewn with like a piping foot, but it's a little pin cushion.
No, beautiful. Is it like a pattern, or did you make this up?
I made it up off the top of my head from a pattern that was in a Bernina pattern book, like from the late 90s.
Beautiful. No, this is amazing.
It's got a modern twist on it. And so forgive me to any of the Bernina educators out there from about 20 years ago. If this is your pattern, send me a message and I will definitely give you credit for it. But I don't even know where the book is anymore.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks.
It was nice to be here.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
And don't forget that if you want to watch more videos like this one, you can check out the Bernina of Naperville YouTube channel. It's easy. It's youtube.com/Bernina of Naperville. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and if you're so inclined, to share. And if you want alerts every time we upload a video, just click the little bell, and guess what? I'll be back. I'll be right here. But next month we'll have a different guest, as you know. And happy Swiss National Day, everybody. See ya.